do buyers think about pricing landscape, nature, and some fine art photography? Hmm, that's a great question that we should talk today on Capture and Connect.
Welcome to Capture and Connect. Insight, challenges, and proven strategies to help you take your passion for photography and turn it into an income generating business. And now here's your host, Janice Sullivan.
Today we're going to flip the lens. Instead of talking about how you set your prices, we're going to dive in on how buyers decide what your landscape, nature, and some fine art photography is worth with real questions from people that type on Google and YouTube. This information is gold. This way, you can get an idea of what these people are thinking in their minds and what they're doing before they actually see you. Why are buyers even asking these questions? Well, why do you buy when you're ready to purchase something? You want to make sure what you're getting is what is expected. We're always thinking about how should I sell my work? What should I price? But let's really dive in to the people who are going to research before they even see you. So their questions will be, what should I expect to pay for landscape photography, fine art photography, nature photography, for my office, for my service, for my business? Whatever you are doing, they're asking. They're asking these questions. What should I expect to pay? How do I know if this price is worth it? How do I know this piece is worth it? They're searching for that. These are real search items that I pulled out because I want to help you. I want to give you some clarity around the value of what's normal in their eyes. Now, okay, some of you may not know who I am. I'm Janice Sullivan. I've been licensing my photography for years, but in the beginning, after I graduated, I started with the traditional printing. I went into commission, and then I worked in with interior designers, and then I went into the hospitality sector. And now that I'm older, I'm licensing to businesses, but I've done it. I've printed my own stuff. I've had my own printer. I've been around for a long time. So even though at this moment I don't print my work anymore, I understand what you're going through if you are printing. I understand those of you that commission, that do workshops, because I've done workshops. I understand those of you that are licensing, because that's what I do. So, but all of that, all of those different ideal customers, each one has a different path. This is still something that I've seen when it comes to people researching you before they buy. So these are some of the factors that I wanted to bring up because this is legit. This is what they're still doing to this day. And they can find out even faster nowadays compared to back in the days. They want to know about the photographer's reputation and uniqueness. This establishes your name and your brand. And if you are more established, you can command higher prices. But they want to make sure that you are there before they pay those prices. So they will look for you and they will see, what have you done? And do you have a reputation? Are you unique in whether you are shooting or the way you present your work? Yes. In the beginning, you have to build upon your specialty. They also will check size and materials. They're going to look at the larger prints if you're printing, or the larger packages if you have a service. They're looking for what they're going to get. And is what they get quality? For example, if you're printing, archival fine art papers are more valuable, right? So they're going to pay attention to the materials, the service. They want to know, is the papers going to last? What are you giving me? Same with the workshops. What are you giving me? They're going to pay attention to all of that. They're going to see what you do, and then they're going to compare your price with others. they're going to do the research too. They're going to look at other people that do what you do and see what the base prices are. That's why I always ask my clients to go do some research. And what's really easy, you could just go to AI, but AI is not always the end all be all, okay? So make sure that you actually go. If it says Janice Sullivan is your competitor, come to Janice Sullivan and see, is that really true? So don't always just depend on AI. So buyers aren't comparing your landscape print to an 8x10 drugstore print. They're comparing it to other art that they could hang on their walls forever. That changes the price dramatically. If you're working for a commission piece, same thing. Can I work with this person? Does this person have good customer service? They're looking at the context for the price. So buyers don't think of categories, they think of the outcomes. Today, we're not talking about how photographers price their work. We're talking about how buyers decide what photography is worth. So, what are buyers really asking? I've done the research for you today. Buyers don't Google photography pricing models. What are the formulas for pricing photography? This is what they Google. How much should I pay for a landscape photography piece? How much should I pay to license a nature photograph for my business? Why are some photography pieces so expensive? Most buyers aren't trying to be cheap. They're trying to avoid making a bad decision. They're just going to ask these basic questions. Buyers don't ask, like, how long did it take to photograph? They ask, does this belong in my space? Will this help my business? You see, some photographers are buying photography as art, something they own and will live with. Others are acquiring the image for a space, a brand, an experience. So they decide the behavior of what the piece is going to do. So they look at that also, and they will search, how much does that cost? Just so you have some context here, art buyers will care about the craft, the story, the materials, the longevity, the meaning. So they may do those kinds of searches. And then professional buyers will pay attention to, does it fit in my space? What is the mood? Is the business reliable? My business needs to be up to a certain caliber. So they will do some pricing searches for that also. There is a standard that starts becoming corporate. So when it comes to those type of pricings within the licensing area, it's standard. And something like PhotoQuote can help you with that. Even though the purpose is different, the decision process is the same. Is the image right for what I need? Can I trust the person behind it? So they will look at reviews or testimonials. Does the price make sense for what I'm actually getting? When buyers hesitate, it's rarely about the number unless you're really, really above what others do in your sector. And if you are, you have to explain to them why the prices are so expensive because they're doing the research. When you go purchase a car, you really do evaluate, right? You take your time and you do the research. Does the car give you what you want? Is it something that is truly within the price range? Cars nowadays, I feel, are a ripoff, but that's my thing. Okay, that could go on a rant about car prices, but we're going to talk about photography and stay on that path. When we're talking about people searching and asking questions, there's certain people that want high quality and some people want just something on their walls, or we'll talk about licensing too on what they want. But basically, let's just talk about limited versus open editions. And what that means is some people, some buyers, they really do care about having a limited edition. That's a higher price. And so they want to go and search what's out there. What is different and what is limited and exquisite? So limited editions is scarcity and collectability. So they are really looking at the piece that they're the only ones that have it. Whether they think they're going to make more money off of it or they want to give it to somebody that is very important to them as a gift, or just say, hey, nobody else has this except for us, right? And that's a higher price. And they will go look and see what's out there to buy a limited edition. Then there's open editions, which is more accessible to people that have normal incomes. So it's more about just enjoyment, throwing it in their living room for a while. It's not really something that it's not a higher price. It's a lower level. So, and it's still gorgeous. It's better than going to Target and Walmart. Now, I just saw a photographer. As I was looking for these questions, I saw a photographer talking about what a rip-off limited editions are for photographers, because we can keep printing them compared to paintings and other things that happen in the art world. But Peter Lick does it all the time. And I don't care what photographers feel. This is what people do. This is how people buy things. So if you feel like, oh, limited edition's not going to happen, go do the research. People still buy limited editions. They want the scarcity. It's out there. But in order to sell limited editions, they're making sure that it really is scarce, you're valuable, and maybe they want something that is more collectible. It depends. They're doing the research on you. When photography is being used in a professional or commercial space, the conversation is totally different. They're searching for different things. It's about permission to use your piece, and it's not about scarcity at all. But does it work for them? Maybe they're not licensing. Maybe they actually want the piece as somebody walks into their business. So they will do the research on the piece for them, but they're not worried about limited editions. It's definitely something to drive people into their space so they can make money for their business. Okay, photographers, this is why pricing is never just about numbers. It's about understanding how they're going to search for you, because they are searching. So what does this mean for you? These people are asking for the prices, but make sure you tell them why the price is set to this level. If you are licensing your work, then you're going to say how you help people with their businesses. And as you build that rapport, your prices will increase because people in the industry talk to each other. Go out there and search and see what comes up. It's going to help you tremendously to be the viewer, to be the person that you want to work with. Now, if you're interested on seeing what people buy, I have this freebie that is Find Your Images That Will Sell. This will really help you get started. And also, one of the things that you pay attention to that I share in there is to look at the comments of what people have purchased before. This will give you ideas to help you in your photography business in pricing and making sure that the value that you give to your clients is worth the money that you're asking. Don't degrade yourself. You do start off low, but as you build that rapport, your pricing will always go up. Thanks so much for joining me on Capture and Connect. I really have a great time coming into your screen or your phone every single Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm in the chat chatting with you on this premiere. I do have a couple other videos on pricing, which is very strong, especially if you're a beginner And another one that you could check out here, always feel free to comment. I'm on YouTube every single day, Monday through Friday. You have a great week, and I will see you Tuesday next week at 1 p.m. Eastern. Cheers, my friend. If you would like to get show notes, links that I talk about in the episode, and a bunch of other goodness like freebies to help you build your photography business, then head on over to photobizmethod.com. photobizmethod.com. See you there.